Welcome to Her Gut Glow Up. This is my masterclass for a healthy gut, happy hormones, and this is the science-backed glow up that your body's been waiting for. And I'm so excited that all of you are here tonight, spending your Monday evening with me. My name is Eli Brecher. I'm a registered associate nutritionist working and specializing in gut health and hormone health. And today I'm going to be sharing my exact three-step method that I use to help my clients glow from the inside out. So before we get started, make sure you've got a notepad and a pen, put away any distractions, and just soak up the next hour or so. And by the end of today's session, you're going to walk away with three proven steps to reduce your bloating, support your hormone balance, and also feel more energized without restrictive diet and without all the overwhelm that can come with that. I'm also offering a free one-to-one nutrition session to every single person who joins this call tonight. So if you want that free one-to-one session, all of you are entitled to it. Just stick around to the end of the masterclass, and I'm going to share how we can do a free session together. Also, if you're ready to take this further, at the end of the masterclass, I'm going to share how you can join my brand new 12-week program, Her Gut Glow Up. It's a group program with an insane discount and some serious free bonuses that you won't want to miss. So, before we get started, a little about me. As I said, my name is Eli Brecher. I run a private nutrition practice where I see my clients one to one and in group programs as well. I have my own podcast, the Gut 360 podcast, and I share recipes and nutrition tips every day on Instagram. My Instagram is at the top of the screen, it's Eli Brecher Nutrition. But first and foremost, I've lived with Crohn's, which is a gut health issue, since I was 8 years old. And so I truly understand how gut issues can affect every part of your life, from your energy to your mood to your skin to your hormones to your sleep. And for years, I felt bloated, I felt exhausted, and I didn't understand what was happening in my body. But learning how to look after my gut changed everything for me. And all of those things that were affected, my skin, my energy, my mood, my hormones, then had a positive knock-on effect on so many other areas of my life. From my relationships to my productivity at work to the success of my business and my happiness in life. And now through my clinic and through my programs, I help other women to do the same. So that's me. We're only on slide 2 and I'm already oversharing a little, but I want to know about you too. So there's a chat icon on the screen, and I would love if you could take 1 second to introduce yourself in the chat, just so I can tailor this masterclass to you personally as we move through the next 60 minutes. So write your name, what city you're in, why you're here, what you're hoping to gain from this webinar today. I'd love to know. And I also want to ask, while you're writing your name and where you're from and why you're here, how many of you experience bloating by the end of every day? If that's you, put the number 1 in the chat. Or maybe it's not bloating. Maybe you're here because you notice PMS symptoms that throw you off every single month. And if you're nodding along, put the number 2 in the chat. Or maybe you think you're doing all the right things, but you're still feeling off balance and you can't quite figure out what the missing piece of the puzzle is. If that's you, pop the number 3 in the chat. I'm seeing lots of ones to get started with. Also, if you have any questions throughout, we will be doing a Q&A at the end, so feel free to put your questions in the chat as we go through this masterclass, and I'll come back to them at the end. So here's what we're going to be doing today. We'll start by going through how your gut and your hormones are intrinsically connected. We will go through 3 steps you can take today to reduce your bloating and your PMS and boost your energy. We'll go through my signature system, which I call the mind, body, gut method, which is the proven framework that I have used to help literally hundreds of my clients see results. And finally, I'm going to share how you can continue your journey inside my brand new 12-week group program at the end, Her Gut Glow Up. So make sure you do stick around. As I said, I'll be sharing an exclusive offer just for you guys. And for anyone who missed the very start, everyone on this call is entitled to a free one-to-one nutrition session with me. So I'm going to be sharing all the details for that at the end. Having a look through the chat now. Great to read all of these. So happy to have all of you on here. And Welcome everyone to the masterclass. Okay, let's get started. So, what areas of your life are impacted by your gut and hormone health? It might be, as we said, your skin. It might be your energy. It might even be impacting your sleep and your focus at work. It might be your mood. It might be your relationship with food. So many of these different areas can be impacted by our gut health and our hormone health. Loving reading all your intros in the chat as well. Bloating, low energy, lots of the same issues cropping up. Okay, keep sharing, and we're going to come back to this. This might sound familiar, and I'm assuming that you're here because you care about your health. You want to get to the root cause of what is actually causing your gut and hormone issues, and you're ready to take action and let go of the daily complaints that are holding you back. But a quick reality check, you feel stuck. You don't know where to begin. Maybe you feel drained and sluggish, bloated by the end of every day. I know that's a really common one in a lot of my clients. You regularly experience energy slumps, fatigue, stress, and you know that your hormones and your skin and your mood could all use a helping hand. Maybe your cycle's all over the place. You're not sure how to regulate it. You've got PMS throwing you off every month, acne, brain fog, cravings. If any of this sounds familiar, just know you're not alone. And a lot of these symptoms are actually messages from your body that something is out of alignment. So, before we get into how you can actually fix all of these issues, let's discuss how your gut and hormones are connected. Honestly, I can relate to all of these. I didn't used to know that the gut and the hormones were so closely linked. But from my own personal experience, I know that it can feel really disheartening when your digestion and your hormones are basically in the driver's seat of your life. So, the gut hormone connection. I'm going to take you back to GCSE biology for just a minute. What are hormones before we get started? They're chemical messengers produced by our endocrine system, and they send signals around our body. And they help regulate so many different processes in the body: hunger, blood sugar levels, sexual desire, so much more. They're fundamental to every system, including your reproductive system. So, the gut hormone link, well, essentially, your gut and your hormones are best friends, and your gut bacteria helps your body to process and eliminate estrogen, which is a hormone. And when your gut bacteria are out of balance, we call this dysbiosis, then excess estrogen, so too much estrogen, can build up, and that can lead to PMS, to bloating, to skin breakouts, to heavy periods. And the gut also makes serotonin, which is your happy hormone, and that affects your mood and your sleep and your energy. So essentially, when your gut is thriving, your hormones, your skin, your energy will all follow. And here's why it's not your fault. We're not taught about this at school. We're told to eat less, we're told to move more, we're told to take supplements, but not how to actually support our microbiome, manage stress, balance our blood sugar. It's not just about willpower, it's also about things like strategy and science and being compassionate with ourselves. And ultimately, it's about learning how to work with your body and not against it. So, what if you are eating the perfect diet, but you're still struggling with your gut and hormone issues? Remember that nutrition is only one piece of the puzzle. You can eat the best diet out there, but if you're constantly stressed, if you're constantly living in a state of fight or flight, your gut and your hormones will struggle. And this is exactly why I take a 360-degree approach to gut and hormone health when I work with my clients. So that's why I created Her Gut Glow Up, which is this foundational method that consists of 6 pillars. It's what I call the science-backed glow up your body's been waiting for. And it's based on the mind, body, gut method, which was the first signature system I developed. So, mind, body, gut. The mind involves calming the stress response, rewiring your habits. The body involves supporting hormones through blood sugar, nutrient intake, and regulating inflammation. And the gut means restoring the microbiome for better digestion and detoxification. And when these 3 systems work together, that's when true transformation happens. So, Her Gut Glow Up has these 6 pillars. We've got, Oh, someone's not on mute. Let me see if I can just mute you for 1 second. Perfect. Let's go back to my screen. We've got the 6 pillars: nutrition, stress and mindset, daily habits, supplements, which can help to fast track the process, your circadian rhythm, so that is your natural body clock, and morning and evening routines. And these are the 6 pillars of the Mind Body Gut method, which is what Her Gut Glow Up, my new program, is based off. And today I'm going to give you just a taster of what's involved in this method and in this program. So, step one is to eat to feed your gut and your hormones. You might not know this, but you're actually more microbe than you are human. So that means you've got more microbial cells in your bodies than you do human cells. This is crazy, but our gut microbes are really closely involved in so many of our systems in our body. So the immune system, 70% of your immune cells are in your gut. Your mood, so more than 90% of your serotonin, that's the happy hormone we mentioned, is made in your gut. Your hormones, including estrogen, cravings, and weight as well. So, what can you do? Well, number one, you want to nourish your microbiome. So, plant points. If you haven't heard of plant points, basically, we want to be aiming for at least 30 different plant foods over the course of the week. So, not 30 portions, but 30 different types. That doesn't have to mean just 30 types of fruits and vegetables. Think about things like grains, nuts, seeds, herbs, spices. These all count as different plant points. I also want you to prioritize fiber. So we should be aiming for 30 grams of fiber a day. Most of us in the UK only get around half of that, so about 15 to 17 grams. So most of us should be eating double the amount of fiber. And fiber you get from all of those plant foods. So vegetables and fruits, nuts and seeds, whole grains, beans, legumes, things like lentils, all really good sources of fiber. You also want to eat the rainbow. So by this, I mean aiming for as much color and variety on your plate as possible. So brightly colored fruit and veg, things like beetroot, sweet potato, spinach, blueberries, these get their color from antioxidants, from polyphenols. These are beneficial plant compounds that feed our gut microbes, and they're amazing for our brain health too. And you also want to limit UPFs. So UPFs are ultra processed foods and foods with a long list of ingredients, most of which you wouldn't recognize. So they'd have lots of emulsifiers, stabilizers, colorings, artificial sweeteners, that kind of thing. I'm not saying you can never ever eat them, but we don't want them to form the bulk of our diet, which they do for a shocking amount of people. So the main takeaway from this slide is just we want a diverse microbiome, we want a diverse diet as well, and in turn we're going to get better digestion, stable mood, happy hormones, and better energy as well. Beyond these tips to nourish your microbiome, we can look at pre and probiotics. So probiotics are the good bacteria. You've probably heard about probiotic supplements, but you can get them from fermented foods, things like sauerkraut, kombucha, kimchi, miso, kefir, tempeh, and live yogurt. I would say start with live yogurt if you're new to the world of fermented foods and probiotics. So plain natural Greek yogurt with live bacteria is a great place to start. And then we've got our prebiotics. So prebiotics are food for the good bacteria. So in our gut, those probiotic bacteria feed off prebiotic fiber from foods like onions, leeks, garlic, asparagus, artichoke, oats, and also bananas that are slightly underripe, so on the greener side. And if you combine probiotics and prebiotics together, you'd get a symbiotic effect. So, for example, let's say you're having some live yogurt or kefir in your breakfast bowl, and you add some oats and some slightly underripe bananas chopped on top, then you've got both probiotics and prebiotics together. Blood sugar is another area to look at. And when we have blood sugar spikes, that can sometimes impact our hormones. So it's normal for our blood sugar to go up and come down, particularly after a meal that's predominantly based of carbohydrates. Our blood sugar will rise and then it will come back down. But when we have carbs or sugar on their own without things like protein and healthy fats and fiber, we get a sharp spike and that's followed by a crash. And that can leave us feeling not our best. So it can worsen bloating, cravings, fatigue, PMS, hormone issues, irregular cycles, feeling very hangry as well. And so the hack that I always suggest is to try this simple formula. You just want to pair protein, fats, and fiber at every meal. So for example, oats You've got fiber with some Greek yogurt for protein and healthy fats, some berries for extra fiber, and some chia seeds for more fiber and healthy fats and protein in there. Or let's think about dinner time. Salmon is full of healthy fats and protein. Quinoa is high in fiber, it's got protein as well. Some leafy greens for fiber and antioxidants, and a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. That's another healthy fat. Or even like a chickpea salad with a tahini dressing and some avocado. Again, you've got healthy fats, fiber, and protein. And as well as stabilizing our blood sugar, as a bonus, this is also going to help to reduce cravings and anxiety and afternoon slumps. So, really important to try to keep our blood sugar relatively stable. Obviously, factoring in it will rise and fall slightly, and that's okay. But you'll feel more stable and more satisfied and better focused throughout the day as well. So let's talk about bloating. This is probably the most common issue that I see in my clinic. I get so many messages about people who are bloated and they can't work out why. So there are lots of different causes that we can look at. These are just a few. So eating very large quantities of food, it's normal to get bloated if you eat a huge meal. Eating very quickly, not chewing your food well. This is a common one as well. We want to chew our food until it's almost a liquid, I say kind of like an apple puree consistency. And most of us are not doing that if we're honest with ourselves. Certain high fiber foods, which might actually be really healthy, things like broccoli, chickpeas, cauliflower, kale, especially if you're not used to eating a lot of fiber and if your gut isn't in a very healthy state, that can cause bloating. So I'm not saying you shouldn't be eating them, but you want to get your gut to a healthier place before you do often. Artificial sweeteners, things like sorbitol, xylitol, these are called sugar alcohols. These can really contribute to bloating as well. Fizzy drinks, because if you think about it, you're swallowing bubbles of air, trapped air as well, IBS, so irritable bowel syndrome, which affects up to 1 in 5 people in the UK. So really, really common. SIBO or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, this is super common as well. About 80% of people with IBS actually have SIBO, so much more common than people realize, and it can really cause quite bad bloating. Gynecological issues, things like endometriosis, and also one that's so often ignored is high stress levels. So, how can we fix bloating? Of course, there's no one size fits all solution to everyone. We're all different and it's going to depend on what your root cause is. But first things first, you want to rule out any other diagnoses. So if you've got any kind of red flag gut health symptoms, you want to go and see your GP. You might need to go and have various tests to make sure that it's nothing more on the serious side, but then you can start to think about reducing your portion size, slowing down at meal times, eating mindfully, chewing your food really well, managing your stress levels. Easier said than done, I know, but find what works for you. Choosing cooked vegetables over raw vegetables is one that not a lot of people know about this hack. But if your gut health isn't in a very good state, you're very prone to bloating, then having lots of salads can actually worsen the problem. But having well-cooked vegetables, whether it's aubergine, red peppers, cooked tomatoes, cooked carrots over big leafy salads, that can be easier to digest. Going for a walk after a meal can help. Reducing artificial sweeteners, skipping fizzy drinks altogether and just sticking to water and herbal tea most of the time. And considering supplements, I'm not going to go into specific ones because these should always be personalized. So, step 2 is to support your hormones and learn how to regulate your cycle so that you can reduce PMS as well. And we're going to go through a couple of different hormonal issues. There are so many, I can't cover them all today. I have a lot of clients with PCOS. I have a lot of clients who struggle with general irregular cycles, PMS symptoms, cravings, all kinds of fluctuations throughout the month. But the two that we're going to really delve into are irregular cycles and how you can regulate that, and PMS today. So, irregular cycles can be caused by all kinds of things. They can be caused by PCOS, high prolactin, by not ovulating in the middle of the month, stress, thyroid issues, low progesterone hormone, under eating. That's a very common one. There are so many different causes, and that's why it's quite important to actually work closely with a practitioner, with a nutritionist, or a healthcare professional who can help you get to the root cause of why your cycles are irregular. There's no perfect 28-day cycle. Anything between 23 to 35 days is technically normal. 28 days is just the average that we're told. And day 1 of your cycle is the first day of your period, Ovulation is usually in the middle of your cycle, around days 14 to 16. And I want you to think of your cycle as your monthly report card. So it's a sign of ovulation. Are you ovulating well? And that's not just important if you're trying to get pregnant right now. It's important for your whole future, really, for your fertility, but also for how you feel month to month. So whether or not you have or you've had or you want or don't want children, it's not actually that important. It's important, but beyond that, it's how you feel month to month, which we're going to focus on. And it reflects how your body is working. So if you're ovulating in a healthy way every month, that helps you make these key hormones, estrogen and progesterone. I promise there's not too much science after this, but these are important for your mood and for your metabolism and your blood sugar as well, and all kinds of other things. So your serotonin, which is that happy hormone. So what can we do if your cycle is irregular? So I've broken it down into 3 steps here. Step one is to eat more. This it might not be what you thought you were going to hear, but think of nourishment over restriction, because one of the most common causes for irregular cycles is undereating or undereating on the right nutrients. So you might be eating more than enough calories, but it's not just having too few calories, it's also missing out on healthy fats and proteins and specific nutrients. So ask yourself if you're truly eating enough. Ditch the diet and instead embrace nourishment. Also, make sure you're including zinc-rich foods because that helps to regulate your cycle by promoting ovulation. So, zinc supports also against acne. It blocks androgens, so things like testosterone. It strengthens your gut lining. You can get it from fish and shellfish, as well as red meat, poultry, nuts, and whole grains. So that's the first step to regulating your cycle, is to eat more and more of the right foods. The second step is healthy fats, so essential for production and the function of your hormones. We want to be eating healthy fats with every single meal. So think of oily fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, avocado, olive oil, or extra virgin olive oil. Nuts and seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds are great, and olives as well. Fats support your skin health, your brain, your hormones, your fertility. So don't be afraid of them, just choose the right ones. And then the third thing you can do to help regulate your cycles is to understand what the root cause is. So this is actually the most important step to really get to the bottom of it and determine the reason. It's not something that should be ignored. So is it PCOS? And if so, what can we do about that? Is it to do with your ovulation or your thyroid or your undereating or you're particularly stressed? This is what we want to really figure out. So the next issue we're going to go through is PMS. So first, a bit of background before we talk about how we can solve it. We want to look at the causes. So is it high estrogen, low progesterone, inflammation in your body? That's quite common. And stress, another big one. PMS is a whole bundle of symptoms kind of bunched together. So it can include acne breakouts, anxiety, bloating, bowel changes, breast tenderness, increased hunger, cravings, low mood, fatigue, headaches, insomnia. It can be all of these. It might be one or two or three of these. Some people also struggle with PMDD, which is actually quite an extreme form of PMS, and often it affects you for the whole 2 weeks, so the second half of your cycle. The key here is to get to the root cause. So, 3 things we can do for PMS. Again, number one is focus on our serotonin production throughout the month. That's the happy hormone again that keeps coming up. So 90 to 95% of it is produced in our gut. So we want to be supporting our gut health. We've gone through some tips of what you can do there. We want to be increasing serotonin throughout the month, and that can alleviate your symptoms of PMS, premenstrual depression, and anxiety. Tryptophan-rich foods are great, so things like poultry, chicken, turkey. Also sunlight, particularly in the morning. So getting outside, even when it's cloudy and a bit gloomy, which it definitely is here in London, going for a morning walk, even if you have to take an umbrella, and getting that natural light exposure can really set you up for the day and support your serotonin. Also, focusing on your hobbies, doing what you love, making time for what's important to you, feeding your gut with things like fermented foods and other gut support as well. The second thing you can do for PMS is balance your blood sugar. So we've just been through this a little earlier. So protein, that creates the framework for your hormones to develop. So include it with every meal: fish, meat, eggs, beans, lentils, chickpeas, nuts, tofu. When it comes to carbohydrates, absolutely fine to include in moderation, but you want to choose the right kind again. So go for complex carbs, the brown whole grain kind. So brown rice or wild black rice, for example, over white rice, because these contain more fiber, which can help to keep our blood sugar stable and improve our gut health as well. Healthy fats, we've talked all about. And then for fiber, that can help get rid of excess estrogen. So actually, I'm going to get sciencey again for a second. Inside our gut microbiome, there's a whole section of bacteria called the estrobolome, and these are involved in estrogen metabolism. So what happens is if our gut isn't healthy, that estrogen can recirculate around our body. But once it's used up, we want it to be detoxed from our body. So that's why we need to make sure that we're having regular bowel movements to detox our hormones effectively. So we need to be eating plenty of fiber for this. Vegetables, fruit, nuts, seed, beans, legumes, and whole grains are all really good to include. And the third thing you can do to support PMS is focus on liver and gut detoxification. So your liver helps to remove waste products, it metabolizes hormones, it helps eliminate environmental toxins. And the way that the body metabolizes hormones is really important. So, healthy liver detoxification helps us get rid of that excess estrogen. Fiber, cruciferous vegetables, so things like cauliflower and broccoli, water, so staying really well hydrated. Probiotics and probiotic foods can help. Certain herbs and supplements, but these should always be personalized. That's something I always say when it comes to supplements. So, the third thing you can do is focus on resetting your nervous system and your gut-brain axis. So let's talk about the gut-brain connection. Your gut and your brain are constantly communicating with each other, mainly through what we call the vagus nerve. So it's the longest nerve in the longest cranial nerve. And we've talked about how serotonin is produced in your gut, so that's really important. And when your stress is high, your digestion will slow down. Usually your hormones will get thrown off. So the two are really closely connected, and your gut is even called your second brain. So, how can you actually reset your nervous system? I feel like this is a term that gets thrown around a lot on social media these days, but our nervous systems are constantly in overdrive for so many of us these days. So, it's important to learn how to manage your stress and calm your nervous system if you want a healthy gut. Life is always going to ebb and flow. And I always say, instead of trying to avoid stress entirely, it's really more important that you create a personal toolkit that you can implement with the things that are going to help you. So, to support your nervous system, you can do things like exhale breathing. So, making your exhale a little longer than your inhale. So, say you purposefully and consciously you want to breathe in for 3, you then want to breathe out for 4 or 5. So your exhale is a little bit longer than your inhale. That slows down your nervous system and it takes you out of fight or flight into rest and digest. Herbal tea is another great one. I've got some peppermint tea with me. So ginger, peppermint, chamomile, all great to include. Magnesium, particularly magnesium glycinate supplements, can be helpful. Also, eating magnesium-rich foods. Dark chocolate is my favorite. It's at least 80% to get enough magnesium from dark chocolate, but also things like avocado, cashew nuts, pumpkin seeds, these all have magnesium in them. Finding things to be grateful for, journaling, all good for resetting your nervous system, and reducing stimulants. A lot of people rely on coffee, multiple coffees throughout the day, but this can actually make us quite jittery and anxious and send our nervous systems into overdrive. And then mindful eating and deep belly breaths before meals, slowing down, putting our distractions aside, just focusing on all our senses. So engaging our tastes, our smells, the textures of the food, and really being present at mealtime can help to reset your nervous system and also can really help with bloating. And then some quick daily habits that can help you nurture your nervous system. Hydration, movement, quality sleep, morning sunlight, that's the one for your circadian rhythm, for resetting your body clock. Breath work is an amazing tool that I've got really into over the last couple of years. Meditation, give it a try, don't rule it out. Lots of free videos you can get started with on YouTube. Spend time in nature if you can. Epsom salt baths are great for your nervous system because Epsom salts are a form of magnesium. It's actually magnesium sulfate, and you absorb that through your skin. So you want to be spending about 20 minutes or so in a hot bath, warm enough to make you sweat, so your pores open up, and that way you absorb magnesium through your skin. And then reading a book in bed, simple, but that's a great one for your nervous system as well. So you might be thinking, how do I actually put this into practice long term? And that is exactly why I created my new group program, Her Gut Glow Up. So I'm going to talk you through what's involved. And as promised, I'm going to be sharing some exclusive bonuses just to those of you who are on the masterclass. And I'm going to tell you how you can get a free one-to-one nutrition session with me. So if you're ready to beat the bloat, tune into your cycle and glow up from the inside out, this is for you. Her Gut Glow Up, my new program, is grounded in evidence. I designed it for busy women. It helps you to reduce bloating, regulate your cycle, support hormone balance without overwhelm. And it really is that science-backed glow up. Today has just been the tip of the iceberg. So it's just a tiny taste of what's involved in this 12-week group program. So inside Her Gut Glow Up is where I teach you the start to finish roadmap to get rid of bloating for good, PMS, hormone havoc, and actually discover how you can boost your energy and your mood every day of the month without worrying about where you are in your cycle. So you are invited to join me. As I said, it's a 12-week group program. And the focus really is reducing bloating, supporting digestion and gut health issues, balancing your hormones and regulating your cycle, boosting your energy and your mood, feeling calm, feeling confident and in control all month long. And Her Gut Glow Up is built off of my original signature system, the mind, body, gut method. So it's going to combine all those different pillars, nutrition, lifestyle, mindset, and also accountability for lasting results. So inside this program, you get 6 live modules. I teach these every 2 weeks on Zoom. There are 3 group check-in calls. There's Q&A sessions once a month. And there is a huge, and I mean huge, bank of printable resources. You're also going to get a recipe book specially created for this program with over 45 gut-friendly and hormone-friendly recipes, actionable nutrition tips, printable shopping lists. You'll get a toolkit to reset your nervous system, to manage stress, and also mindset worksheets and journal prompts, because it really is about that mind, body, gut connection. Movement recommendations as well, morning and evening routines, and supplement suggestions. And I partnered with a whole bunch of amazing people who offer other skills. So there are gut-friendly yoga classes pre-recorded inside Her Gut Glow Up. There are breathwork videos targeting gut and hormone health as well, guided meditation audios, and so much more. There's also, and I think this is my favorite part of Her Gut Glow Up, my new program, there's access to the private community. So you're going to be a part of a private WhatsApp community with all the other Her Gut Glow Up students. So you can ask questions between sessions, have that accountability, share your wins and challenges, and also get further support from me Monday to Friday. I'm always there for everyone, all my students in my programs. There's weekly goal setting in the group chat as well, and we share our wins every Friday, which is really exciting. So if you're wondering who this is for and if this is for you, if you resonate with anything on the screen, this is very much for you. So if you're bloated by the end of every day, if you're waking up low in energy, feeling like your battery never really recharged, if you're suffering with energy slumps, fatigue, anxiety, PMS, mood, skin, appetite issues, cravings, you're feeling out of sync, you're trying all these diets and supplements that you see online, and you're wondering if it's even possible for you to wake up not feeling bloated, you just want to learn how to support your gut and your hormones and your energy and also get that community support, then this was created for you. I've worked with hundreds of women who struggle daily with their gut and hormone health, and the secret is it doesn't have to be this way. So just imagine for a second how it would feel if you could go from bloating, fatigue, PMS, energy crashes, confusion to feeling confident, feeling energized, having regular cycles, glowing skin, steady mood. And this isn't just another quick fix, it's actually a 360-degree reset for your mind, body, and gut. So over 12 weeks, this is what we're going to cover. Her Gut Glow Up really has been curated to transform your gut and hormone health and get you to where you want to be in 12 weeks using those 6 pillars to reach optimal health. So all the different modules on the screen, stress management, daily habits, looking at the root cause of why you're bloated and how to address that, your circadian rhythm, gut-brain axis, the stress bloat hormone triangle. You're also going to get 4 free bonuses worth £485, which is more than the cost of the program itself when you enroll. So there's the group chat, there's the one-to-one session with me, so a private mini consultation any point during the program, a free spot at one of my London events. So I do mini retreats regularly in London with nutrition talks, workouts, whether it's yoga or Pilates, meditation, and insane wellness goodie bags. If anyone has been watching my stories recently, you'll know I love putting together gift boxes for anyone who I want to make them feel special. So amazing wellness goodie bags, and also my whole ebook bundle. So all my paid ebooks are included for free in this. The investment is usually £130 a month. So 3 months of that is £390. But right now, and for the next 11 days until Halloween on the 31st of October, you can get £93 off. So you can get my group program for just £297 for the full 3 months, the full 12 weeks. And if you do the pay in full option, that's how you get the free one-to-one session with me, as well as the ebook bundle. So I'm going to tell you exactly how you need to do that. And I'm also going to be sending you the replay of this masterclass along with the code that you'll need in an email later on this evening and throughout the week as well. Just jot down the code HGG for Her Gut Glow Up 93 for £93 off. So HGG 93 gets you £93 off just until the 31st of October. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the link in the chat for you if anyone wants to have a quick browse. Here is the chat, and the link is going in. So click on the link that I've put there, leave it as an open tab on your screen, have a browse either now or after. And this is the screen that it will take you to. So you'll see these berries on screen. And before we finish with a Q&A, and I'll look at what's been put in the chat, I just wanted to put a couple of client testimonials on the screen from my last group program, which was the Mind Body Gut Method, or MBG. People have said it was life-changing. They couldn't recommend it more. People have said it's exceeded their expectations, helped them understand the gut-brain link, which really was a major missing piece, massively improved the quality of food they were buying and consuming, seeing huge shifts, life-changing. And people also really like that I have my own experience with digestive issues and found that a real bonus that I could understand what they were going through. And then over here, people have said they've absolutely loved the community group chat, sharing weekly wins and goals. Amazing to celebrate everyone else's wins as well. If you're considering joining the group program, I would highly recommend it. So always really nice to hear testimonials like that. Let's dive into a quick Q&A. I'm going to stop recording, and as I said,